Well, I tell you what, if Scotland can channel the energy from this Murrayfield crowd today, then they might just have a sniff of a chance against the All Blacks. We're going to see a haka in a moment from them, but let's get some quick predictions. Peter Wright, how's this going?
Yeah, I think if Scotland get their set piece right, I think they can win it by a couple of points.
Tom?
They're 3-1 underdogs, but they're underdogs that have a hell of a bite. This could be a big day. I predict Scotland to win, to do New Zealand, win it in the last quarter. Peter Wright to burst into tears at the full-time whistle.
Hugh Jones, are Scotland finally going to do it? Is this their time?
Yeah, I think we definitely can. It's going to be tight. Again, like Peter said, the set piece is going to be massive. Physicality, I think we need to get go forward from our forwards to unleash our backs. If we do get that, we won't have any problem scoring tries.
What a match we have got in store. Kick-off just a few moments away. The Scotland players break away from their huddle and line up on the 10-metre line as they prepare to face the haka. The New Zealand players in their change white kit, black shorts, black socks. They are in the huddle. They are preparing for the haka. They have spoken all week how they do not want to be the All Black side that breaks this 120-year unbeaten streak against the Scots. They've named a strong team. They've shown the Scots respect. Can Scotland match up to the All Blacks? Now, one of the greatest spectacles in sport. Let's listen into the haka. Special scenes here at Murrayfield. Will it be a special day for Scotland? You will find out right here on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Sports Extra. Scotland versus New Zealand in the Autumn Nations Series. Is this the day when Scotland finally take down the All Blacks? Let's find out in the company of Hugh Jones, Peter Wright and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Andy. It is an opportunity that comes around only a handful of times in a Scotland player's career to get a crack at the mighty All Blacks here at Murrayfield. Only 2 Scotland sides over 120 years have avoided defeat. In 1964, a 0-0 draw. In 1983, 25 all here at Murrayfield. Is this the Scotland side that can end one of sport's longest hoodoos? They've certainly managed to take a few scalps that hadn't previously been taken in recent years. England at Twickenham, France in Paris, Wales in Cardiff as well. Now, perhaps the biggest of them all, in the sense that this may be a New Zealand team that is vulnerable, but perhaps any sense of that makes New Zealand all the more dangerous, because they will be cognizant of what those are saying outside, and they'll be out to prove a point throughout this tour of the Northern Hemisphere. Dismissed Ireland in Chicago late on in the first leg over in the States. Scotland next up before they go into England and Wales, as Beauden Barrett, one of the greatest players of all time, bounces the ball and gets ready to kick off. New Zealand's going to attack from right to left as we sit here in the West Stand at Murrayfield. Scotland's in their centenary kit with the same badge that was worn in the first game here at Murrayfield 100 years ago in March 1925 against England. Is this going to be a day of more history in Scottish rugby? Murrayfield roars as Beauden Barrett kicks off into the Scotland 22, and it is taken by Jack Dempsey and up to the 22-metre line. And Scotland's looking first of all to get the first job out of the way, and that is exit their own 22 cleanly. Ben White does just that, pops it out into touch just around about halfway, and it's a solid start.
Yeah, and what you want to do, if you watched the game last week, New Zealand line-out just didn't function. So what you've got to do, you've got to put the pressure on them right for the very start. If you can steal the first couple or make the first couple uncomfortable, it gets into the head of the hooker in particular.
Well, it's taken off the top by Holland as they secure the first line out. Into midfield goes Wallace Satiti, the man named after William Wallace, after his dad Semo Satiti was over here playing for the Border Reivers. Now New Zealand go wide. It's Leroy Carter, then to Satiti, and out onto the far side. Scotland get the tackle, and eventually New Zealand over the 10-metre line, and they come back towards this near side, and then pass goes into a teammate in an offside position. So Scotland pick up in their own 22. It's Kyle Steyn trying to evade one tackle out towards the far side. Decides not to get the offload away and waits for support. New Zealand get the counter up going. Scotland hold it up just outside their own 22. Ben White goes short as Schoeman crashes it up. The referee is Nick Berry of Australia, giving the instructions to the players today as Ben White box kicks Scotland down towards New Zealand's 10. It is taken by Carter and then given to Beauden Barrett. Little hitch step and then runs across the field, gets the pass away to Caleb Clark. Good tackle, and the kick goes in, charged down. Roygaard's kick comes off a Scotland player, and New Zealand retreat back to their 10. And it is Quinn Tupaia, an inside centre, who scrambled it, and they've managed to reset. Cody Taylor, the 100 cap plus hooker, steadies things with a solid carry. Now it's Fainga'anuku, gets the offload out the tackle to Clark, then the offload again. Good challenge from Gilchrist to scrag him to the deck just on the halfway line. Fainga'anuku, one of the players coming into the starting 15 for New Zealand this afternoon. He'll do that all day, look to get his arms free and pop it out. So there's a break up the outside of the ruck from Lord. The big second row striding into the 22, gets the pass away to Cam Roygaard, and New Zealand are going to get the game's first score. And it is the big lock who will take all the credit for that one. Free round the side of the Scotland rock, he ran into the 22. Basketball pass away to Roygaard, who had the simplest of tasks to finish. And it is Scotland 0, New Zealand 5 after 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'll have to check if he was part of the ruck. I don't think you can pick the ball up if you're part of the ruck and do what he did, but what a great bit of skill. You know, he goes through the middle of the ruck. It should be the best place to be defended, but often you don't defend it particularly well. Is he part of the ruck? It's an interesting one. He's got his hands on the ball, but I think they're going to give that, and he just that vision then to put a little pass in over the head, and it's a very positive start for New Zealand.
Beauden Barrett is going to line up this kick to try and make it a 7-pointer. Josh Lord, over 2 metres tall, inexperienced second row for New Zealand this afternoon, but certainly used the skills there. Barrett steps up with the right foot and strokes it right between the sticks. So it is Scotland 0, New Zealand 7 after just about 4 minutes at Murrayfield. Not the start Scotland wanted, Hugh Jones.
Yeah, that's a tough one to take. I think it was actually a really good first defensive set from Scotland. We were looking good. The ruck was in the middle of the field and we were set both sides, just not right next to the ruck, which was where the ball was, and he's picked it up and gone straight through as a soft try.
It's not what Scotland were hoping for or planning for, but as the guys mentioned pre-match, they were 14-0 down after 7 minutes in New Zealand's last trip here in 2022, and did manage to recover things. So it's
Thomas, if we're going to win games, we're always going to do it the hard way, aren't we?
Well, it's in our blood, Peter. You're right. There is New Zealand receive the kick-off and set up and just trundle out through the forwards towards the 22, and Scotland will be guarding round the fringes extra carefully after that break from Josh Lord. The box kick from Roygaard. Again, he just left that quite close to the onrushing Scotland defence. He's already had one charge down, a little grimace there from the try scorer. It's, Scotland trying to get on top of him. It's a line out to Scotland's between the 10 and 22 in New Zealand territory, and we know how Scotland like to strike off line outs, so we'll see if they can get one going here. Ashman finds the man Brown at the front, and then it's into midfield. Sione Tuipulotu puts the head down. New Zealand try and hold him up in midfield, but Scotland get it away. Here's Rory Hutchinson, takes it to the line, round the back for Finn Russell. Now it's out to Darcy Graham on the right wing. didn't have much room to work with, the Edinburgh man, and he's taken down short of the 22. It comes back infield, and it's Darcy Ray on his 4th cap. Huge day for him as Jack Dempsey trucks one up, and then White gets it away to Russell, who comes back to this near side where Hutchinson gathers, and then it gets the pass to Kyle Steyn. Little half break as Clark scrambles to make a challenge. Quick ball for Scotland as White looks for it again. They're going towards the posts over on the far side as White goes digging, gives it to Grant Gilchrist, has support from Schoeman. Scotland into the hands of Kinghorn, floats one out onto the far side. It's Graham on the left wing, dances in field, going across the pitch, taking round the legs, sets it up, and Scotland will have to go again in New Zealand's 22. Gilchrist with another thumping carry, then out to Dempsey, who pulls it back for Russell, and then Ashman on the gain line is taken round the middle. Scotland still have it though, not managing to make too many metres until Scott Cummings has a little snipe and has a couple of yards, and then it's dropped by Fagerson, and it will be a scrum to New Zealand, and New Zealand still leads 7-0.
That was a brilliant first attacking set from Scotland. Started with a line out just around 10 metres and worked our way upfield. Lovely second phase there. Hutch with a lovely touch out the back to Finn, which turned the winger in and made us a couple of metres up the sideline, and then just so many of the players offering themselves on lines, a lot of the forwards carrying, and just maybe got a little bit frantic there in the 22 and dropped the ball.
Hit at a good height, okay?
Bit that always gets you is you want clean, quick ball, and New Zealand are just good at just that very last shot. The guy dives over the ruck, totally illegal, doesn't get contact on the ball, but does enough just to get it into Ben White's eyes, so he maybe doesn't get that ball away just as quick as he wants. That's what New Zealand are good at. It's those little things that irk you as a player. Just, you've just got to get accurate. They were accurate there, and Matt Fagerson, who's been outstanding in the last 18 months, not like him to try to make that mistake.
Scrum, and it's reeled all the way around, and it's been dived on by Schoeman, but the referee's whistle is gone. He's going to reset this one.
He was going to give that to Scotland.
Reset that. I've seen something on my side, I've seen something on the other. We're going to reset it.
See, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. They just ran it round. New Zealand ran it round. New Zealand took the step to the left, ran it round. If you actually look at Ashman, he's got nobody to scrummage against because the whole of the New Zealand pack left him. If it shows you the replay, I don't know if it'll show it. But watch Ashman. He's just got nobody to scrummage, and he was going to. Certainly, the ref was going to give it to Scotland. The job was he was going to give it to New Zealand. So they've done the proper thing and just reset it.
Well, there's big focus on the scrum pre-match because New Zealand have a really strong scrum, held up well in the Rugby Championship last week, and of course without Xander Fagerson. Big afternoon, as we've mentioned, for Darcy Ray. It was a solid first attempt. Roigard puts it in at the second. It looked like pretty blatant feeding there, but it's on we go as Quinn Tupaia gets it away, and it's Will Jordan who is taken around the ankles just short of the 10 metre line as New Zealand threatened to go the distance there, and then there was a fumble as they carry the second phase to the line. Now it's whipped away to Barrett, and then they come to this near side. Wallace Atiti takes it to halfway, gets his arms free, and the offload to Leroy Carter, then to Cody Taylor into Scotland's 22, and he's tackled by Ben White. Now Roigard to Wallace Atiti coming infield, set up the ruck. De Groot, the big loose head, takes the contact in Scotland's 22. Shows you how quickly the All Blacks can just almost effortlessly move up the field, and suddenly they're in the red zone. Snipe round the edge from Carter, the winger. Now it is back to De Groot. Scotland holding firm for now. New Zealand not getting the go forward. They're looking for, at this moment in time, Roigard along to Satiti, nudges off the tackle of Ashman before eventually being brought to the grass, and Scotland have a penalty. Managed to get in there and get hands on ball. It's Gregor Brown, I think, who's done it. Brilliant bit of defending from the Glasgow Warrior.
Yeah, what concerns you is how quickly they've got up, from inside their own 22 pretty much to Scotland's 22, 4-5 phases. Scotland have got to try and be a little bit more physical. It's difficult because the one thing New Zealanders are very good at is offloading in the contact, offloading in tackles. They always work hard to get their arms free. And if you actually look at the height of all the players, props are big, tall guys, second row obviously tall. so they're high. So you try and hit them, low, obviously, to kill their momentum, but it just leaves their arms exposed to then give those offloads. And that's all that happened there. A couple of offloads, and they're almost 10 metres, 20 metres from the Scottish line.
The kick was only about 7-8 metres beyond the 22, so Ashman has it between his fingertips and throws it in and finds Gregor Brown again at the back. It's a good line out, White away into midfield, and Scotland's solid there at the set piece as the All Blacks look to pin them into their own half. It is Scotland 0, New Zealand 7 after 11 minutes here at Murrayfield on BBC Radio Scotland, BBC Sounds and Sports Extra 3 as that kick goes in, and Darcy Graham tried to go up, got something on it, but he's knocked it forward. It'll be a scrum to New Zealand. Just Murrayfield crowd, just a wee bit of the energy gone as the game sort of was a wee bit scrappy.
Yeah, it's a good kick and it's a good chase, and the new law as well. I don't know how you feel about the new law. You're not allowed to have any blockers now in front of you. So for a forward, it's great because we never got off the ground. But for you poor backs, they just wait for somebody 16, 17 stone ready to smash you.
It's completely changed that aspect of the game. It means that as a catching player on the receiving team, you've got no protection. You've just got to go up, and the attacking player on rushing, we saw Darcy Graham there, he's got no intention of catching it. He's just trying to mess it up for the All Blacks and tap it back to someone on his team, which he did really well, but the Scottish support players just knocked it on, which is unfortunate. I think,
yeah, although I haven't said
Scotland
that,
scrum,
it's a Scotland scrum
from New Zealand.
Yeah, it must have come off a New Zealand player, but as Darcy Graham went up to tap it. So Scotland's the kicking game has worked perfectly there as they've got a scrum just over halfway, and they've got the free kick as well, which Ben White taps and gives to Tuipulotu. Good carry up to the 10-metre line. White to Russell. Bullet pass out to Kyle Steyn on the left wing. He comes in the field, tackled just over the 10-metre line. Now it's Gilchrist to Russell to Schoeman, who smashes into contact, and Josh Lord was one of those who smashed the Scottish prop in return. White off the ground to Schoeman, and Russell, one over the top of Carter, the winger. It's caught by Darcy Graham on the outside. Inside ball is dropped by Blair Kinghorn, and that will be a scrum to New Zealand, this time over on the far side. 7-0 the All Blacks lead after 13 minutes.
Yeah, again, good attack, just really zippy passes, the forwards hitting the lines really flat, really difficult to defend, but the quality team that New Zealand are, they're defending it, and they're defending it hard. It's real physical stuff. You can imagine this physicality going on for 80 minutes. It means the bench becomes absolutely crucial, because you're going to have to replace all these players that are sore after 60 minutes.
It looks as though New Zealand's defence is set quite tight, and they're coming out quite hard on the outside. They're forcing Scotland into those passes over the top, which Finn Russell is brilliant at, firstly, but their scramble defence is so good. They managed to shut us down even though we were looking like we were about to make a break.
And Darcy Graham collecting that one over the top from Russell, who got a little dunt from Josh Lord after he spun that pass. One of his specialities, as Hugh mentioned. So New Zealand with the scrum, and it's solid from both teams at the moment, and it goes down on this near sides. The referee's happy with it, and here is Fainga'anuku to Barrett on the wraparound, tackled by Hutchinson, and then he gets back to his feet and makes a real nuisance of himself, and he's trying to hold up the All Blacks winger Leroy Carter, and then the New Zealand team managed to cling on to possession. They've set it up, and it goes back now to Barrett, who sends it into the Edinburgh sky, and Steyn is underneath it, takes it comfortably with no pressure, and then whips the pass to Darcy Graham, steps inside, and then a brilliant move there to wriggle out of the tackle from Quintu Paya. Gilchrist now, who has already got 5 or 6 carries to his name. The big second row has been an ever-present for Scotland over the last year, and it's slow ball. Ruck set up, Ben White on the 10-metre line, puts the box kick high into the air. Clark is underneath it. Was he taken in the air there by Ashman? I think he was. Advantage being played, and it is a penalty to New Zealand, and that is soft, because Ashman was there, just needed to let him hit the ground.
But the law says if your feet are off the ground, you can't be touched. You can actually even have the ball, to be fair. But that, you just know when a forward is in that situation that the chances are he's going to cock it up, because he's just desperate to do a big hit on a back. That's where you need your dash, because the backs, when they get to that situation, is they'll challenge, they'll get up in the air and they'll try and slap it back. Forwards will not do that. Forwards want to do the hit, want to do the contact, mainly because they love the contact, but they're not very comfortable when they're off the ground. That's the problem.
Line out from Taylor, and it's Claude down to Roygaard, who gets it to Tupaya, and now Fainga'anuku, and it's knocked forward as he tried to get the ball free and get an offload away, as he likes to do. Now it's Dempsey with a big fend. Jack Dempsey trucking it up into his opposite number, Lakai.
You're good, no advantage, come back to the knock-on.
So Scotland scrum, the referee had spotted an infringement there, but advantage to Scotland, so come back for the scrum. Jack Dempsey, actually the only Scotland player who has beaten the All Blacks, did so in 2017 for Australia. So they have got a player in their ranks who knows what it takes. As he went on a run there, this will be a Scotland scrum, and I hope to just, although I was going to say just clear this down the field for you, but it's Scotland, so it might fancy a run.
This is always a place I think you attack from, because they have to, the back three have to sit reasonably deep, so you've got space on the edges, so you can get to the edges pretty quick.
I think you've got the best of both here. You have the opportunity to attack, because New Zealand have 3 guys pretty deep in the backfield here, so you can make meters when you go wide here. The safer option is to kick, but we'll see what happens.
Nearly 17 minutes played at Murrayfield in this autumn test match. Scotland 0, New Zealand 7. Solid Scotland scrum, and it's Tuipulotu to Hutchinson, who just about gets away, and then Russell is smashed by Clark. It's broken out the back for Graham, who puts the kick in and shoved into touch.
What about the shoulder charge for Clark?
That's what the referee's now talking about here.
He shoulder charged him into touch.
Just want to clean up this restart.
So let's...
Red card for me. Get him off with a red card. But he has shoulder charged Ashley Graham into touch.
At the moment we're on a white throwing, but
there's no arms in that tackle.
We're just checking to make sure there wasn't.
I don't think Finn Russell would have been grateful for that pass. He was melted into next week.
Nothing clear.
Yeah, time off.
It's pretty clear for here.
Well, the referee is going to...
Or are you saying Darcy Graham ran into him?
It's going to be time off here. Nick Berry is the referee. He's having a word with Sione Tuipulotu. Finn Russell is still feeling the effects of that challenge, so we'll see.
It was a nice play. It was... Rory Hutchinson was very close to going through there. Classic Sione Tuipulotu. He gets the ball, squares up, and he pulls the defender with his eyes. He looks out the back to Finn, and he plays Hutch short, and he was very close to going straight through.
Yeah, it was just a tackle right round the waist at the last minute, which kind of brought him to the turf. So Finn Russell is back on his feet here, and he looks like he's okay. And the Scotland fly half
getting strapped, isn't he? His left knee's getting strapped up, so he's obviously got a wee bit of a dunt on that. Hopefully it'll be enough, he'll be okay to go for the rest of the game.
Yeah, he's winning his 88th cap today. Finn Russell goes ahead of Scott Murray, 5th on the all-time list. Only the 4 Centurions ahead of him now, as he gets some treatment, and a player that Scotland can certainly ill afford to lose. Obviously Tom Jordan is on the bench along with Jamie Dobie, 2 utility backs that have allowed Scotland to go 6-2. New Zealand are 5-3 on their bench, but they've got 240 kilo props to bring on.
I've not seen a lot of Rory Hutchinson playing, because I'm not a big fan of watching Northampton. I know they're good, but what I've seen of him, for a guy who's quite small, he's amazingly physical. He's got a great, he's tenacity around the breakdown is great. He's tackling. He's already made about 3 or 4 tackles, all of which have been fairly, he almost tries to dominate the tackle all the time, which is quite unusual for a kind of smaller stature, especially an outside back like a 13. But he plays 12 at
he can play. He plays a lot of 12. Plays a bit of 13 this season, especially. He showed a brilliant second effort after making a good tackle on Beauden Barrett. He then fought up and worked through the ruck and almost got a turnover. But it is, I think, the new Scotland defence coach has come from Northampton. I think he expects a bit more aggression and intent, and that's what we're seeing from Hutchinson.
Play back on with this line out from Taylor, taken at the back by Josh Lords, whose break and pass to Roygaard for the try is still the difference between the teams. 7-0. All Blacks coming to this near side, and Caleb Clark tries to bump off Graham, is then shoved out the way by Cody Taylor. A much bigger man is Lakai. bows his head and drives the legs. All Blacks still short of the 22, coming towards the posts as Holland, the Dutchman playing for New Zealand, the second rower, carries forward, and Beauden Barrett, little dummy, and he's taken down just on the 22. Another snipe round the edge, and New Zealand get it away. De Groot to Holland, offload to Will Jordan. Important tackle by Blair Kinghorn just in front of Scotland's post. New Zealand still with it, and it's taken to the line by Fainga'anuku. He's 5 metres short, and he's still not been taken down as he pumps those legs. New Zealand queuing up on this near side. Tupaia tackled, and then they go again round the sides. There's 3 of them on the short sides, and Finn Russell getting involved with his knee now strapped up to push New Zealand back. And New Zealand told to use it by Nick Berry, the referee. It's slow ball now, inside ball. Holland, the second rower. It's slow stuff as Scotland try their best to disrupt it. New Zealand about 4 short of the Scotland line with a 7-point lead. Lakai with a pop pass, stopped on the line, and Darcy Graham. And Scotland up against it here, through the hands. Tupaia just taken round the ankles, 3 metres short as it looked like he was going to go in there. Roygaard with a pass away. Advantage being played now for New Zealand. Scotland in real bother as they try and fend the All Blacks off.
Let it come! You're off your feet!
Scotland told they're
offside.
Off their feet as De Groot, the loose heads, takes the pass and makes a couple of yards. Now it's Beauden Barrett. Will Jordan floats one over the top to Cody Taylor, the hooker. It's a forward pass, but they had penalty advantage, so we'll come all the way back towards the far side for a New Zealand penalty.
Okay.
Great defence. You know, you would back New Zealand to score. There were a couple of times they had huge overlaps, a lot of space on the right hand side, and just the tenacity of the Scottish defence, line speed, very aggressive, just not allowing the New Zealanders to get it out of the tackle. And then of course there's always a penalty comes along, isn't there? There's always an offside. No offside when New Zealand were offside a lot. I thought they were offside a lot of the time, but for some reason the chip on the shoulder comes out, and then Scotland get.
Guys, wait till he's touched it with his foot, okay?
So they're going to
make sure you tap it with your foot, please.
Tap and go here, New Zealand. Fancy it. It's Cody Taylor, and he gets the pass to Savia, and then a little flick out the back to Satiti. Now it's Taylor, 5 metres short in the shadow of the post. It's desperate stuff for Scotland. Here is Savia.
Penalty advantage, 6 blue.
And another penalty advantage. Gregor Brown is penalised. Pass from Fletcher Newell, now Will Jordan. Again, he's tackled on the 5 metre line. A try scoring machine in New Zealand fullback, and again we're going to come back for the penalty advantage, and there's going to be a word here for the Scotland captain about repeated infringements.
As much as the desire and the physicality and the intent to get off the line here from Scotland is brilliant, exactly what you want to see, giving away penalties is just going to let the All Blacks stay down here and eventually maybe score points. They might not go for the points here, but if they stay down here and apply pressure, there might be a try.
And he also said next penalty is a yellow card as well. But you go back to the pressure Scotland up in the top on this end in New Zealand. How often New Zealand slow the ball down, how often they don't roll out the way quick enough. And they, I don't know whether it's just, you just feel as though they get away with it all the time, and yet other teams do it and they get pinged off the park. And that's, what is he saying, 4 or 5 penalties were given away for things that were similar to what New Zealand were doing, in my opinion.
I think what we also have seen is New Zealand on attack, not one handling error so far, whereas Scotland with their 2 attacks, unforced handling errors have put that to a stop, where they've just gone 10, 15 phases without handling error, plenty of offloads, which has allowed them to stay down here and keep applying pressure.
And they've opted to take the scrum right in front of the sticks on the 5 metre line. And they've got options either side. You've got Caleb Clark on this near side with Tupaia, Barrett behind it, Jordan just behind him as a second distributor, and there's a big scrum from the All Blacks, but the referee is going to reset things.
Telling them to use it, that's the bit. He's told them to use it. It's at the back of the scrum, so it should be getting used. If it's not getting used, it should be, for me, it should be turned over to Scotland. Scotland have scrummaged reasonably well, they have, but that scrum there, you just seen there's just an increase in intensity from New Zealand. They're now starting to You know, it's the red zone, isn't it? It's that zone where you're really up it, middle of the park. You're happy sometimes just to hold it solid. But now all of a sudden, New Zealand put in. They're going to force, because they also know if they get a penalty, there's a good chance that'll go to a yellow card as well.
Yeah, so this scrum being reset. You talk about teams coming alive in the red zone over the years. New Zealand, the first team you think of. And here is Roygaard, stooped and feeds the ball into the scrum. The number 8 Lackey picks it up, gives it back to Roygaard. Barrett, Jordan, brilliant tackle from Kyle Steyn. Superb round the ankles. Again, Jordan stopped on the 5. Now it's Josh Lord, the second row. Scotland standing tall in defence, but for how much longer? As Savia has a go. Roygaard goes digging, gives it to Satiti, goes between 2, but they manage to just stop him. A metre and a half short now to Paya. The centre is bludgeoned and he's knocked it on in the process of a forward pass, I think. And Scotland come out with a massive victory there, repelling New Zealand, and it stays 7-0 for now.
Again, outstanding. Again, they created the overlap, but because Scotland have got good line speed, they're getting man and ball. New Zealand are then struggling to offload. And then just, again, line speed. As you said, it's good to have line speed, you have discipline. That set, they had discipline, and they managed for the first time in I don't know how many phases they managed to force the error from New Zealand. But that is the easy part, the turnover. Now they've got to have the scrum. They've got to get a solid platform and get a clearance.
Yeah, and there's that Darcy Ray as well, who's down getting some treatment over there, getting his arms strapped up. So already the casualties are mounting after the opening quarter here. Scotland 0, New Zealand 7 in this autumn test at Murrayfield. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Sports Extra 3 and BBC Sounds, it's been an engrossing first 23 minutes, and the All Blacks struck first after a brilliant break from Josh Lord, the second row around the edge of the ruck, 2 metre tall second rower, got the basketball pass over the top of the Scotland defence, and Roygaard went in.
And you know, if you look at what we're in 23 minutes in, and for 23 minutes it has been 100% intense. You know, sometimes the game lulls, it goes up and down, but every breakdown's massive, every contact's massive, the tempo and the pace of the game is huge, and we're only 23 minutes in. We've still got a lot of time to go, and obviously players will fatigue, and that's when they start to get the spaces. But at the moment, both teams giving a good account of themselves.
Yeah, well, I caught a glimpse of Darcy Ray on the screen there as well. There's already a bit of blood coming from his nose, and the battle well and truly on. Yeah, penalty given for a neck roll. So that wasn't the initial call on the field, but the officials have spotted it, and Finn Russell cannons one up to just short of halfway, and Scotland will have the line out. It's just between the 10-metre line and the halfway line in Scotland territory. So Scotland, big moment, because they've been on the back foot and just defending, hitting, shuffling across, trying everything to keep the All Blacks out. Now what can they do with the ball, albeit in their own half?
I think they can be really proud of that defensive set. You obviously rather give away penalties than tries, so to leave All Blacks scoreless in that period, come out and have an opportunity to put pressure back on them is brilliant.
Another line-out take from Gregor Brown. That's his third already. Good throwing from Ashman, and then White to Pilotu to Russell, and now it's Hutchinson burrows round in the tackle, and Scotland are just short of halfway. Russell with a spiral bomb over the top of the head of Jordan, who touched that, and it's into touch. Scotland line out about 8 or 9 metres from the New Zealand line. A moment of brilliance from Finn Russell.
I was watching him in the warm-up, and between dance moves he was doing a lot of these spiral bombs just from the 10-metre line, and they're horrible things to catch, aren't they? They're spinning all over the place. The ball boys were trying to catch them, and then I think they just gave up on it.
That was obviously a tricky one. He's hit that pretty flat, but it's gone just over Will Jordan's head. He's had a touch on it, which has gone into touch. I think it would have been a 50-22 anyway, maybe, but it's a Scotland line out in the 22.
Here it comes, Ashman. New Zealand get a hand on it, but it falls onto Scotland side. White gives it to Tuipulotu, the captain. He's tackled.
It's only knock-on advantage there, 9.
So knock-on advantage from that line out as New Zealand got their paws in it. Schoeman takes a tackle up, and then a line from Kyle Steyn. You could hear that from here as he's absolutely smashed by Fletcher Newell, the big tight head prop, Gregor Brown, drives on. Scotland 7 metres from the New Zealand line. Here is Hutchinson, taken by his opposite number, Fainga'anuku, gets the offload away to Russell. Now it's Kinghorn, big step out the back to Darcy Graham. He's stopped just short, rolls, and Scotland try and drive it over the line. Scott Cummings is in there, and
the line held up, goal line dropout.
Call is held up from the referee Nick Berry. Scotland's so close there.
Yeah, I saw 2 guys coming.
Those are the ones where you actually don't want to get over the line. You want to keep the ball and have another chance to attack, but he's rolled and he's got over the line, but he's been held up, and then it gives the All Blacks a chance to exit.
Yeah, and it's a good restart, which Russell just keeps in play. He flings the ball out to Kyle Steyn, who crosses the 10. He's up to halfway, and he's just into the New Zealand half. Tackled. White to Gregor Brown, out the back to Russell, now to Pilotu. He's taken by Tupaya.
Yeah, he's going down, no foul play.
Here comes Scotland again, as the Murrayfield crowd were wondering if that was a high shot on Tuipulotu. Schoeman with a little bit of daylight before he's taken down. Cummings, he's stopped. Scotland lose the ball. Lakai has picked it up off the deck, and then he gives it to Tupaya, who's hit but offloads, and Roygard just smashes the kick into Scotland's 22. Darcy Graham has to scamper back, gets his hands on ball, and then he's got Caleb Clark, but he steps him and goes, oh, he thought he'd got round him, and he's into touch. That's a sensational recovery from Caleb Clark, because it looked for a split second like Darcy Graham had done him there.
Let the ball go. No, you can't go, because now you've shifted it, yeah?
Yeah, it's a good. Again, New Zealand, you just can't let up at the breakdown. They just continually counter-ruck and continually come in the sides, offside, get away with it. The intensity that keeps going, and then great little kick. And Darcy didn't have a lot of options, to be fair, did he? He's not the best kicker in the world, and he was almost away from, wasn't he? He just about beat Caleb Clark, and would have been up the pitch and scoring, but. Yeah, Scotland have got a lot of hard work to do now.
Yeah, I thought when he squared him up, I thought, what are you doing here, Darcy? And then it changed in a split second as if he'd wriggled away from him. But Caleb Clark's big long arms managed to recover and get him round the waist and haul him into touch. So it's a New Zealand line out just inside Scotland's 22.
Darcy Ray's seen off one of the New Zealand props anyway. He's wandering off, been substituted under too much. I think he's going for a cut injury. I think he's covered in blood, it looks like. Yeah,
Tamati Williams is on. 140 kilos of him, nearly 2 metres tall. He's an absolute giant of a man.
That's when you're glad you're retired.
Here come New Zealand as they secure the line out. Roygard goes round the fringe, he's in front of the post, and now it's a penalty advantage again. Scotland showed you how quickly you can go from scoring up one end to being under the cosh at the other, as New Zealand come forwards on the 5 metre line. Roygard is trying to get his hands on it, but he has to get involved in the ruck, and the forwards play it out, and it's through the hands, and good tackle from Scotland stops New Zealand on the 5. Barrett to Satiti, dances, but is eventually brought to the turf. Roygard back on his feet, and that's a poor pass which is at the feet of Barrett, and we'll go back for the New Zealand penalty, and I wonder if they might take the points. No, Barrett tapped it there initially and then thought better of it. Offside was the call against Scotland.
This is when the referees forget what they've said, isn't it? That he said the next penalty would be a yellow card. It's the next penalty, but that's a massive statement as well, isn't it? New Zealand taking the shot at goal rather, and that's Scotland have earned that. Scotland have made them do that.
Yeah, it shows how good the Scotland defence has been down in their own 22. They've brought so much more intensity, getting off the line, good tackles, that they force All Blacks to take 3 points in.
And it's one that Beauden Barrett simply won't miss. It's right in front of the sticks.
Kiss of death.
Well, that's what I'm trying, Peter. No such luck, as he bisects the posts, and New Zealand's lead is 10-0 at Murrayfield, and we're 1 minute short of the half-hour mark.
Yeah, I think Scotland will take that. There was a lot of pressure there in the last couple of sets. You would have backed a team of the quality of New Zealand probably to score there. A lot of phases, a lot of time on the ball, and just some brilliant defence from Scotland just denied them.
While that is positive, I think we'll rue the chance. We got down into the 22, we were so close to the line and gave it away cheaply. those are the kind of opportunities you have to take if you're going to stay in the game.
Finn Russell again was down on the turf here. We described earlier that he got strapping on his left knee after being absolutely melted in a tackle. He's back on his feet again. He's has that kind of grim look on his face, like a man who is playing through the pain barrier for now for Scotland. Restart comes in. It is Scotland 0, New Zealand 10. Half an hour played at Murrayfield in this autumn test match, live on BBC Radio Scotland and Sports Extra 3. New Zealand set it up on their 22. Box kick from Roygaard, high into the air, and Leroy Carter slaps it back. And New Zealand still have it on the 10. Back to Newell, the prop who can squat nearly 300 kilos, as it's chipped by Fainga'anuku. It's not the best as Hutchinson is able to backpedal and take it. Fires it to Blair Kinghorn, who's on the halfway line, and then floats it to Tuipulotu. He is tackled just into New Zealand's half. Carried forwards by Darcy Ray. And now it's Schoeman. Dummied it to Gilchrist, but took the contact himself, the big prop. Now it's Hutchinson to the line, out the back, doesn't go to hand. Russell has to pick it up off the turf. Jordan tackles him. Russell is bundled to the ground. And it's slow ball for Scotland. Gonna have to have a rethink here, as Matt Fagerson takes it at first receiver and just sets up the ruck.
Okay, 5's dead now.
Scotland going nowhere fast at the moment.
Use it, please, 9.
As Ben White is told to use it, and he box kicks it up towards the 10-metre line. Graham goes up, but it's taken by, initially it looked like it was taken by Clark, but he's fumbled it and Scotland have it. Schoeman to Russell. Russell with another one of the spirals off the outside of the boot, and it's into New Zealand's 22. It sits up for Beauden Barrett. He's under a bit of pressure, dummies, and then kicks it kind of down the line. It drifts in field, but it's taken by Russell, who carries it over the 10. Little step and then bumped to the ground by Lakai. White into Tuipulotu, gets it out one more. Scotland coming back inside towards us here in the West Stand as the crowd finds its voice. Scott Cummings tackled by his opposite number, Josh Lord. A counter ruck from New Zealand is brilliant, and Savia picks it up at scrum half, and the counter attacks on here. Fainga'anuku to Jordan, to Caleb Clark, round the ankles, gets the offload to Jordan. He's over halfway, but that one doesn't go to hand. Picked up by Ardie Savia, and then that's loose out the back of the ruck, and Darcy Graham kicks it through. Was he tripped there? He was tripped there by Beauden Barrett, or Cam Roygaard, I think. Potentially the referee is allowed play to go on. Cody Taylor on his own 10. The hooker ducks and is taken to ground.
That's a disgrace. You've got the touch judge and the referee within 2 or 3 metres yet, and both of them didn't do anything. That's disgraceful refereeing for match officials.
Well, the penalty is given to Scotland.
It's a yellow card.
Eventually, and they're now going to put it on the screen for the referee to have another look at, as we have another look at it here.
That's a yellow
stuck
card.
out an arm and a leg there to stop him.
That's a yellow card. You're not allowed to trip.
Yeah, and the TMO is Marius van der Westhuizen.
It's right in front of them, Thomas. It's right in front of the 2 officials, and they've said play on.
Looking at number
you can't leave it to the TMO. Don't re-referee the game. Referee it yourself originally.
Yeah, it's the way it's going in rugby and football, isn't it, really? One's not on the pitch ending up doing the bulk of the work. It looks cut and dry. From the replay we've seen, he puts his leg out, he puts his arm out. It's absolutely blatant, and it's got to be a yellow card.
I would say that's a red card.
Okay, thank you.
That's a kick. That's not even a trip. He's kicked him.
Give us a second, we just need to get back on you.
Yeah, it's a trip, but if you wanted to, you could make it a kick.
So it's clearly a trip by 14 White. It's going to be a yellow card. Cynical card.
So
Mark is 1 metre inside the Scottish half.
the yellow card is issued.
Right, well done. Good process, boys.
Yellow card
And
New Zealand's number
Penalties in the 10-metre line, mate.
Yeah, Leroy Carter is sent to the sin bin, and Scotland will have 7 minutes to half time with a player advantage, and Carter with a little wry grin.
He's not coming off. He's just wandering up. He's wandering back into position.
He's eventually he's looking at it as if to say, who, me?
That's how bad it is. He doesn't even realise that he's given the penalty away. The penalty wasn't there either, was it?
Okay.
I thought it was further up the pitch.
Yep. Thank you.
It was over the 10-metre line, I think. The trip. Russell is taking it back just over halfway and booms it up towards the 22. And it's a good kick from Scotland's fly half, just short of the 22, and a platform for Scotland to try and strike back because they trail by 10 points with 6.5 minutes to the break, and with Leroy Carter in the bin for New Zealand.
Going to try and make the most of this, haven't they? This is when New Zealand's tighter defence could come back to bite them in the bum, because if they do that tight defence and Scotland can get on the edge, then they're obviously the wingers off.
Jack Dempsey takes the line out and the maul is set up. Ashman has it. Momentum is halted just short of the 22. Scotland use it. Tuipulotu out the back to Russell, and then it's flat to Kinghorn. Kinghorn into the 22. One handoff taken around the ankles by Clark. Scotland still have it. Darcy Graham plays scrum half. Schoeman thumps into the contact and then has a little extra roll in. New Zealand with a counter ruck, and Gregor Brown picks up. He's 5 metres short. Scotland bundle in, and the pass away. Scotland driving over the line. Have they got the ball down?
Held up again.
Held up again. New Zealand survive. Scotland have twice been over the whitewash, but twice there has been New Zealand bodies underneath them.
It was more of the composure that Scotland needed. A couple of good carries around the breakdown, but that one just held up over the line. The starter play, New Zealand one man down. It was opportunity to go wide, but just Finn's pass just checked Blair on his back shoulder and forced him back inside and kind of stunted the attack.
So
it is like him as well, isn't it? His accuracy and his pass is usually pretty good.
No, he usually puts it on a plate. There is a drop out in front of the sticks. Bowden Barrett hoists it to the 22. Darcy Graham is underneath it, and he just takes it before he's met with the full ferocity of Caleb Clark. Those two are having some battle as Schoeman goes to Russell, and now Tuipulotu on the charge. Spins in contact but is tackled. Scotland at 26 metres from the All Black line. Russell on the outside with a pass. New Zealand make their tackles. Now it's Ashman. Such good speed for a front row forward, and it's messy at the ruck, and it's popped out the back, and Taylor has dived on it, and then he's flung the pass and it's knocked on.
See, that breakdown there is a prime example where New Zealand get away with murder. He shouted no because the guy's got his hands on the ball. He's then shouted you're the second man. So New Zealand have slowed Scotland's ball down completely, but he lets it play on rather than put a hand out for advantage for a penalty. No, don't touch it, you're the second man. He's given them 2 instructions, and the whole time New Zealand have got their hands on the ball to slow it down. That's why I always think they just get away with a little bit more than everybody else.
Yeah, the Masters at the breakdown. Richie McCaw made a career of it. He was a sensational
one
player.
Yellow card in his whole career or something, wasn't it? It's some mental like that.
Yeah. Magnificent player, but
intelligent, because what these guys do, they bend the rules, they push the limit, and then when they know the referee is going to start yellow card, then they take a wee back step, and it's usually one of the stupid props then go and do something, and then they get yellow carded.
He's speaking from experience here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Scotland scrum just outside the All Blacks 22. Big moment in this game with 3 and a bit minutes to the break. Scotland trailing 10-0 at Murrayfield, and Dempsey picks up at the back, and there's a dancing run from Ben White into traffic, and the penalty is given to New Zealand. A tackle without the ball.
Must release the ball.
Scotland's just struggling for that momentum that they were looking for in the 22. It's just these little moments that they need to be taken to try and stay in touch in this game. Not releasing is the call, and with 3 minutes to the break, the All Blacks with a player down, player in the bin, able to now clear their lines.
It's just a little bit lack of composure from Scotland, isn't it? They realise they're down to 14 players, and they're almost trying to just maybe force it a little bit. You know, they just need to show a little bit more composure, because there was, I think, going back a few phases, Tuipulotu got the ball, but he's got 2 or 3 guys outside him. Remember, it's the right winger that's been yellow carded, so the space is out there. He had Kinghorn, he had Kyle Steyn out there, I think Hutchison was there as well, so there was numbers if he just put the ball through the hands.
Lord gathers the line out off the top for New Zealand, who set up the maul. The body position's been set on the 10-metre line, making slow but steady progress. As Nick Berry tells him to use it, and Roygaard puts a really high box kick in. This is a tough one for Steyn, who goes up, and it's a really good battle in the air there. And Scotland have come out with the ball, and the run from Kinghorn from deep. He's floated the pass over the heads, and it's bounced, and Hutchinson's gathered on the left wing. And the referee is blowing the whistle here. Darcy Graham's playing on. He's not heard the whistle, and it is taken by Roygaard anyway. So the advantage was being played to Scotland. And the forward pass is a call from Blair Kinghorn as he spun it out to his near side. Just got a bit excited, I think, there, Blair Kinghorn.
He probably could have put it through the hands. I think that ball needed to go to Darcy Graham before it went across to Hutch. There was definitely an opportunity out wide there, but again, composure.
Off his left hand as well. Players famously can't pass off their left hand, but not at that level. And Kinghorn's been, I think, again, maybe just got a little bit excited and just tried to force it, and it looked like it slipped a little bit as he was making the pass. But he was right, just put it through the hands, just play through the hands and just draw the defender and just eliminate the defenders by picking them off. That's why I always think New Zealand, one of the reasons they're one of the best teams in the world, do the basic stuff really, really well, do the simple stuff well, execute it constantly over and over again.
It's exactly what we've seen from them today. Nothing flashy. They've gone through the hands. There've been a couple of offloads, but that's when it's clearly been on. But yeah, they do things simply, but they do it really well.
Ethan de Groot, the loose head prop, has been patched up and comes back on for Tamati Williams, big number 17. I'm sure we'll see him later.
This is where Scotland have really got to focus, because one of the things that New Zealand are renowned for is just scoring just before half time, just after the start of the half as well. So you know, the 3 minutes, 2 minutes to go, a minute to go, they've just got to really focus here, make sure they don't give New Zealand an easy try or a try just before the half. 10-0 at half time. I think they'd go in reasonably happy with that.
Yeah, well, the All Blacks have had quite a bit of pressure on Scotland's line. Scotland have had their moments, been over the line twice and been held up, so 10-0 is not a great scoreline, but it's far from a shocker either. Stay in the game as the forward packs, the big men, get set for this scrum, and it will be most likely the final play of this first half, which has been ferociously competitive as we thought it might be. Scotland's accuracy at times just not there in key moments, and New Zealand's the same in fairness, but they've just managed to take their one moment with a try as Roygaard feeds the ball into the scrum. New Zealand have the nudge on Scotland here, and they have the advantage. Roygaard under pressure from Ben White, he's smothered. The advantage is there for New Zealand if they want it. They're going to play the advantage. Jordan to Willis Atiti. He's got Clark outside him. He dummies at the number 6, and then he's on the inside to Will Jordan. Oh, what a try! Vintage All Black rugby, and Will Jordan goes under the sticks, and it is Scotland 0, New Zealand 15.
Similar to the other line breaks they've made so far this game. 2 passes have cut out about 6 or 7 defenders for Scotland. They're just letting the ball fly across them, and then they get an overlap on the wing.
When Jordan made the pass, could he have been tackled? I think he could have been tackled, so take him out of the game. So you watch the replay here, the Scottish player, could he have? Yeah, maybe not. Because what he does is he fakes the pass, then he runs between 2 Scottish players and becomes the support player. Whereas try and take him out, even shoulder charge him, barge him, stop him. That's just simple but quality play. And typical New Zealand, score just before half time.
Yeah, you literally just mentioned it, and Beauden Barrett knocks over the extras from right in front of the post, and there is the half-time whistle, and it is a severe blow for Scotland to lose a try right before the whistle. That one from Jordan added to Roygaard's in the opening 5 minutes, and that plus a Beauden Barrett penalty means Scotland have it all to do in the second half at Murrayfield. The first ever win over the All Blacks seems a mile away right now at half-time. It is Scotland 0, New Zealand 17.
Rugby from Sportsound.
It's successful, he scored the opening try!
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Sportsound Rugby on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Andy Burke. Half-time here at Murrayfield in the Autumn Nations Series. And the scoreboard doesn't look too pretty from a Scottish perspective. It's Scotland 0, New Zealand 17. The All Blacks striking right on half-time. A sickening blow for the Scots, and it is a long, long way back now. Thomas Duncan, Peter Wright and Hugh Jones have been describing the action. Tom English is with us also, and Tom, Scotland have been full of endeavour and had their moments, but the New Zealand team have done what New Zealand teams tend to do when they come here. They have struck at the right times and struck when they needed to.
Yeah, I feel physically ill after that last try there, and I can imagine what the Scotland players feel like. Like, New Zealand are ruthless. They're doing simple things and they're doing them brilliantly. Great decision making in attack, great defence, but Scotland are letting them off the hook. They've been over the line twice. A couple of key decisions go wrong. The Blair Kinghorn, as Hugh was saying, no need to skip it, go all the way to the wing. Rory Hutchinson put it through the hands with Darcy Graham. Keep try and turn the screw. The Scotland are trying to, I don't know, they're trying to maybe sometimes they feel like they want a knockout blow instead of just building the pressure, going through, just applying heat on the New Zealand defence. But they're not doing that. They're constantly letting. There's 3 or 4 occasions there where they've let New Zealand off the hook, and then they've come back, and it's like that is a gut punch right there. It's 17-0. I can't see Scotland coming back from this. It makes me feel slightly nauseous.
Yeah, very deflating. A gut punch at the end of the half, Tom. A gut punch within 2.5 minutes. Yeah. We spoke about the importance of Scotland coming out the blocks and meeting fire with the All Blacks, and the last thing they needed was New Zealand under their sticks within 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and soft.
Yeah,
so soft. I mean, Lord does brilliantly, picks up and goes like the clappers, and then it's just execution, brilliant execution, and it's a cheap 7 points. And bear in mind, like, the last 3 games between these teams, they've been decided by 8 points, 5 points, and 8 points, and that's a kind of free-ish 7 points that Scotland have given New Zealand right there.
Especially with the way they've defended.
Scotland defended.
After that,
heroic,
some of the best defence I've seen Scotland do, and that's what frustrates you. A simple thing like that, and even at the very end, it's the same thing. It's kind of softish defence.
Two massive moments. Like, the first one was about 4 minutes of constant pressure, and Scotland escaped. Brilliant defence, like really physical defence.
Kyle Steyn with a couple of brilliant defensive
and then
reads.
Just after that, Kyle Steyn. So that's 2 massive moments where you think, hang on, this looks pretty good. I know you don't want to be down there, but if you have to be down there, defend like that. Brilliant. But then come back and then maybe damage New Zealand. Maybe just apply your pressure to them and see if they can defend as well as you can. But they don't. They just make it too easy for New Zealand. It's really frustrating.
Hugh Jones, I was here at the All Blacks team run yesterday, and I know when you do the team run out on the pitch, it's not the most high intensity session in the world, but I was struck in the 20 minutes or so I was here, I didn't see one ball hit the deck. The level of skill was something else, and I think we've seen that translated today. You've highlighted it in commentary a couple of times that the pass is exactly where it needs to be, whereas Scotland a couple of times, you mentioned the one from Finn to Blair Kinghorn, we've seen a few out the back door passes to Finn, he's having to juggle a couple of times, just gives New Zealand that little moment to get set and swallow up the Scottish attack. That skill execution's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in attack that's been the big difference today. New Zealand haven't done anything special. The Scotland defence has been good. It's 2 really soft tries, but it's been simple passing in front of the man, easy to run onto, whereas on the other side of that, Scotland, who've had a couple of opportunities to get into New Zealand's 22, each time it's been a pass that's on the back shoulder or a knock on, someone running onto it a little bit too hard, where it's just let them off the hook, and we haven't been able to apply the pressure that we need to do. It's been frustrating to watch because everything's there for us. The shape looks good, the energy is good, there's players available wanting to carry, but it's those unforced errors that are really letting us down at the moment.
You look at since the yellow card, right? 33-minute yellow card. Scotland have been over the New Zealand line twice since then, but the score in that 7 minutes, 7-0 New Zealand. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? Like,
Nothing. You can't. It's just the way it is.
It makes you pull your hair out.
But Hugh, you'll have been in these situations in this Scotland team where you feel it's the moment to strike, and we need to strike now, and New Zealand are down to 14, so this is the moment. Just that lack of composure. Take your time and let the chance come.
Yeah, look, I think they'll be talking about largely the same things we're talking about. Is that it's the execution under pressure. It's the passes sticking. It's getting to the breakdowns, not allowing them a sniff at the ball, because there's been a couple of times, like Peter's alluded to, maybe the All Blacks are offside, maybe they're slightly illegal at the ruck, but they're getting away with it. They're getting the ball back. So we need to be squeaky clean and quicker, and make sure that there isn't even a contest. They can't be illegal, even if they want to be. And that's how you keep the ball against these teams. You have to be relentless in your attack, keeping hold of the ball, keeping that composure, even if it slows down. You go again, you rebuild. At the moment, we just look a little bit too frantic. Like Tom said, we're trying to hit that killer blow. We're trying to make a line break every time. Whereas if you just keep the ball, don't go over the line and get held up, you're going to keep applying pressure, and that's something we have to look at in this second half.
Peter, Scotland are having to work so hard for whatever gains they make, a metre here, a metre there, whereas in contrast, the All Blacks, even off first phase, they're getting 5, 6, 7, 8 metres over the Scottish gain line, and from there on in, you're backpedaling and scrambling a little bit.
Yeah, every New Zealand player is comfortable on the ball. They carry the ball well. They know how to pass. They're comfortable to make passes, and their passes are accurate. And we don't have that. We don't have that same skill set amongst our forwards. Also, the size of these guys, they're quite tall. So what happens is you've got two decisions to make. Do I go high to try and stop the offload, or do I go low and try and stop the momentum? And Scotland a lot of the time are going low to stop the momentum, which just allows the New Zealand guys to offload, and they're doing a lot of offloading in the game. But if you go too high, you just bounce off them sometimes to keep the momentum going. So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place there, and that's what makes it frustrating. The defence in general has been pretty decent, and if you lose 2 tries like we did, but because New Zealand keep the ball for so long in so many phases, and their skill set's so good, you're susceptible to that. You're susceptible just to one missed pass and bang, 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 they're in for a try. Looks dead simple, you look sloppy, but it's just because New Zealand, their intensity and their skill level keep that intensity up. You never get any respite for them. You never get a rest because they don't make many mistakes.
Yeah, like the mystifying thing for me, as Hugh says, they haven't done anything special. We've seen New Zealand do special things. We saw that even though they weren't great against Ireland, we saw them in the last 20. A couple of their tries were really special tries, carved Ireland open. They haven't done that here, really. So it's a kind of a weird. You look at 17-0 and you think, how have New Zealand done that? I'm trying to make sense of this, but I'm struggling.
You look at Scotland's defence in the 22, it's been absolutely fantastic. Although they gave away a few penalties, they've been charging off the line, they've been physical in contact, 2-man shots, and getting turnovers as well. Whereas further out, where you probably want to see more of the same, get off the line, a bit more intensity, they've been quite passive and allowed New Zealand to just pass it around them so simply. And I think that's a frustrating thing, is when you see such good defence in R22, not seeing the same kind of intent further up the field, where you're just allowing New Zealand 2 long-range tries for absolutely no work.
Yeah, it's very frustrating for the Scotland fans here at Murrayfield, and Peter, Scotland need to come out here and we're talking about composure, which they absolutely need, but they're going to come out and need to get back in this game pretty quickly and just get this crowd back engaged and just find a way to give New Zealand something to think about, because if they don't bring that intensity, then this scoreline could start to turn a little bit ugly.
Yeah, I mean, the crucial thing is to get the first score, no matter what, even if it's a penalty, get 3 points, as you say, get the crowd back into the game. You look at the bench, how much of that, what can that bench do? Can that influence the game? That's a big decision for the coaching staff. I think the one guy that could certainly influence is Josh Bayliss. I think the way he's been playing at Bath, he's a natural ball carrier, he's got gas. But who do you take off? At the moment, I'd probably take Matty Fagerson, just because he's no been obvious, but I don't think they will. I think if the first chance they'll get, they'll maybe take Dempsey off, purely because he hasn't played a lot of rugby, and watching him in that first half, he's carried a lot. he's took a lot of punishment. But I would try and get Bayliss on reasonably quick, because I think he's got that pace, I think he's got that skill set that might be able to do something. The other problem is with the rest of them, the front row, Marshall, Sykes. I'm not sure how much they're going to influence the game when they come on.
We spoke a lot this week, Tom, when the team came out about the composition of the back row, and whilst we loved the intent behind the power, 3 big powerful carriers, we did worry about who's the breakdown disruptor in there, and do Scotland have that? They've not necessarily been able to slow New Zealand down in that area.
No, and Darge, I know he's on the bench, but he hasn't played any rugby. Andy Onyama Christie I'd have had in the squad. I'd have had him in the 23. I think he's an exceptional player. He's a disruptor at the breakdown who can play and whose defence is outstanding. So I think I disagree. We said it in the pod earlier on in the week, Burke. I disagree with a couple of the selections. I'd have had Max Williamson on the bench as well. But anyway, the concern for Scotland now is that if they don't make a game of this quickly, this could get ugly, because we know how good New Zealand can be in the final quarter of games. We know how much defending Scotland have had to do. We don't know how much that's taken out of them. New Zealand now seem to be finding their range a bit. So Scotland need to come out. Listen, the last meeting they were 14-0 down and they scored 23 points in a row. We're now back into that territory. Unfortunately, we didn't want to be here, but we are.
Yeah, Hugh Jones, time to roll the dice. Nothing to lose now for Scotland.
Yeah, look, absolutely. We need to come out with a bit more accuracy, but we've got to throw the kitchen sink at them now. So any plays that we get, any opportunities we get to attack, it's all go. We've got to give it everything we can. In terms of the bench to come on, I think that we've got power there. We've got, like Peter said, Josh Bayliss, brilliant carrier. Rory Darge, I'd like to see him come on and bring a lot of energy. I'm excited about Jamie Dobie and Tom Jordan though. They cover the whole back line. Both really physical, really fit players that are going to come on and work hard for this team. And that's, I think, what we're going to need to see in the second half is 15 men working really hard.
Yeah, we might see Tom Jordan sooner rather than later. Tom, Finn Russell's been down twice. He doesn't look to be moving particularly well, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's not having the influence you would hope, but he's under an awful lot of pressure. Can you imagine the amount of time New Zealand would have put in this week targeting Finn Russell? And he has. He seems to be carrying a little bit of a knock. Like, you're 17-0 down. I know it's not convention to make a lot of substitutions at half time, but you got to do something. You got to change the picture here somehow. And if that means bringing on forwards earlier than you would want it to, then you got to do it, because this game, you have no time to waste here.
Yeah, Scotland need to find something, and very, very quickly. They trail New Zealand by 17 points to 0 at the break here at Murrayfield. They've waited 120 years to beat the All Blacks. All signs point to that wait going on. And if they're to turn this situation around, it would be one of the most incredible stories this old stadium has ever seen. Scotland need to come out the blocks here. What can they do in this second half? Let's rejoin our commentary team of Hugh Jones, Peter Wright and Thomas Duncan.
Yeah, a mammoth task awaits Scotland against rugby championship sides. So New Zealand, South Africa, Argentina, Australia, they've lost their last 27 when trailing at half-time. So the omens are not good, but we've seen rugby miracles before. Can Scotland produce one in this second half? It looks like it's same again for both sides in terms of the 15 players. So Scotland need to find something. We know they're capable of scoring out of nothing. That is certainly true. And quick start, quick try, and certainly send a jolt of energy around this 100-year-old stadium as it celebrates its centenary. Is it about to see something special or something more routine? An All Black victory over Scotland. They lead 17-0 and it's Scotland to restart, and it's going to be Blair Kinghorn to do so. And he hoists it into the darkening Edinburgh sky, and it's dropped just short of the 22, and it's indeed dropped by New Zealand. So immediately Scotland have a turnover. An advantage being played for a scrum. Little chip from Russell to Darcy Graham, couldn't take it. into his chest, so he kind of volleyed it, and it ended up going into touch.
See, that's the difference for me between Scotland and New Zealand. Turnover, got possession, 20 yards for the try line, no phases. One phase, one kick, we've lost possession. New Zealand would keep that and keep it and keep it and keep it. 15, 20 phases. We get rid of it after one. Keep the ball.
Yeah, well, they had penalty advantage for that Jordan try, and rather than just stabbing a kick in and taking the penalty, they actually played and scored. They are the experts at it, and it's the line out is secured from New Zealand, and now Roygaard's box kicks downfield. Darcy Graham takes it above his head, and then he is tackled ferociously by Clark around the legs. And Scotland now on the back foot as New Zealand pile into the ruck, but they've done so illegally here. So an opportunity for Scotland to kick back down into New Zealand territory, get things going and get this atmosphere going, because the stadium at the moment feels rather flat after that Will Jordan try right on half time.
These are the chances now that as a backline you get excited about. And the kick goes out, just checking.
Yeah, there was a...
my heart was in my mouth for a second. I didn't think he was going to make it. But look, Scotland are now in the 22. We've got an attacking line out. You have to have accuracy, but this is a chance to go forward and to really apply some pressure and look for that try.
Leroy Carter is ready to come back on, the New Zealand player who was in the bin for the last 8 minutes of the first half. I'm not sure if he's going to be allowed to do so for this play, so this might be an opportunity, the last opportunity for Scotland to attack against 14 with this line out in the 22. Over on the far side, it's taken by Fagerson, and then Brown pops it out, and it's a run forwards and into contact. Good meters made by Scotland. About 15 out from the try line. Dempsey makes an angle, and then Fagerson with a pop ball inside to Schoeman, who shudders into contact, and now Scott Cummings snipes round the edge, and Scotland are suddenly 5 metres short. Huge opportunity here if they can keep their composure, but New Zealand disrupting at the ruck again. Was that in at the side? The referee is happy with it. Scotland go around the fringes, just eking out the meters.
That has to be a penalty.
Yeah, hands in the ruck there. No penalty advantage is coming Scotland's way, but they still have the ball. The forwards queuing up on this near side. It's picked up at the back by Cummings for Gilchrist. He is still short, and now Scotland have a penalty advantage. Can they play? Moves out, touches it out the back. It doesn't fall for Russell. Scooped off the deck by Stein, but he was tackled at the same time by Clark. It's all very messy. We'll go back for the Scotland penalty.
No, you got one over there and one in the midfield.
They get away with murder, don't they? Their hands are on it, they're slowing it down. They get away with absolute murder.
So we got in front of the sticks.
So
you got one
Carter
there,
is
10 metres out from touch on the 5 metre. One right here in front.
Ready to come on. Only two Pelota just been told by the referee they've got 2 penalty advantages in terms of where they can take this from. One of them is in front of the sticks. So conversation now between the Scotland leadership.
Do you take the points, or do you go for the try? You get the points on the board just to try and get things rolling?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I think you go for the corner.
Go for the try, I think. Yeah. I think that in the way they had the phases before the penalty, they were really looking like they maybe could get over. So they'll back themselves to do that.
They're going to take it to the corner. Russell sends it into the stands, and they have a 5 metre line out. Scotland trailing by 17 points to 0 against New Zealand. 44 minutes on the clock. Ashman finds Gilchrist. Here comes the driving maul.
Penalty as well.
And the advantage is being played, I think, to Scotland. It goes down. White floats the pass to Tuipulotu, leaves it for Russell, who's going to put the pick in. Darcy Graham's going to chase it. Graham, but it's picked up and dotted down by Carter, and the advantage was being played. So we'll come back for another Scotland penalty, and are New Zealand going to get warned about infringements?
Well, 3 penalties. So there was 2 penalties the first time, and then this third one, Scotland got warned after 3.
Change being made here. Looks like it's going to be Damien McKenzie to come on for Caleb Clark, who I think is moving gingerly towards the tunnel. So
that battle between Caleb Clark and Darcy Graham was brilliant to watch. It was just, I love Caleb Clark as a player. I think he's a really good player. Playing against his dad, jeez, that's how old you are. You're playing against people's dads. But that battle, the massive man against small man.
Here comes the Scotland line out. Gilchrist again takes it. This time it's another maul. New Zealand need to be squeaky clean here. Scotland rumbling infield, moving ever closer, but it's disrupted as the bodies splinter off the ball. Still going. Scotland over the line here. Advantage being played as well. Have they got it down? They have! Scotland have scored. They're right back in this test match at Murrayfield, and boy was that needed. Scotland 5, New Zealand 17, and the stadium comes to life.
You know what, if it wasn't a try, it should have been a penalty try, because he's got his hand out for advantage. They've collapsed the maul over the line.
He's given a yellow card
carded him as well, severe. So that's justice, that. But yeah, great start to the second half, getting that first score, and obviously forcing another yellow card as well.
Yeah, the captain, Ardie Savea, has gone. It was Ewan Ashman who was under all those bodies to score his 9th Scotland try, and Ardie Savea has gone to the sin bin. So New Zealand down to 14 players yet again. Finn Russell, the conversion on the 15-metre line in from this near side, one you would expect him to make. Can the Scotland fly half get a crucial extra 2? Strikes it with the right boot comfortably between the posts. The flags go up, and it is Scotland 7, New Zealand 17.
Although that was a maul try, I'd like to give the credit to the backs, as I saw a couple of them jump in and just get it over the line. So that goes down as a backs try for me.
Always try and steal the glory, don't we? Can't help ourselves.
Well, either way, Scotland reduce their ears back to 10 with a player advantage. Now it's about trying to turn the screw. Can you make them work for these next 10 minutes? Defend. It's a sclaffed restart that goes to Ben White in the Scotland 22. He clears it all the way down the pitch. Damien McKenzie, the live wire utility back, takes it to the line, bobbing and weaving, but Scotland deal with him comfortably. Fumble by Roygaard, it's backwards, but White is there to really hammer home that error from New Zealand, and Scotland piling into the ruck, and they've won it. Here's Schoeman, goes back to the far side with the pass to White, who's put the kick in behind. It bounces up. Darcy Graham's chasing it. Can he collect it? It just bounces at his feet. And now New Zealand will try to break through Barrett and the offloads. And Scotland managed to bundle him into touch. It will be a line out on the far side. So, breathless passage of play there. And Scotland try and make this period with player advantage count.
It's just that counter ruck, wasn't it? Ben White. It's actually Ben White that made the tackle. Then he got up, started the counter ruck, followed up with the rest of the Scottish players, stole the ball, and it's a great kick to Darcy Graham on the wing. Maybe just went with his foot, maybe rather than try and catch it, maybe could have flicked it past Jordan, I think, was it on out there.
Let's find up, please.
But yeah, good play. They've got the intensity up. They've got to make the most. That's going to be 20 minutes now that New Zealand are down to 14 players. They've got to make the most of that.
Nice and balanced,
Damien McKenzie gone to full back for New Zealand, with Will Jordan, the try scoring machine, now with 44 test tries and 52 caps, closing in on the all-time record of Doug Howlett, 49.
Jordan on the right wing, is it?
All black tries, Jordan on the near side.
Carter on the left.
Carter on the left. And it is a scrum. New Zealand ball feeds in, and the penalty goes Scotland's way. Ferocious scrum from Scotland.
And at an angle. You can see Newell, just see the scrum's going right towards the stand, which gives you a hint that somebody's going at an angle. And New Zealand were slightly dominant, so they're the ones that are going in at the angle. So, you know what I was going to say at half-time, Darcy Ray, what a first half. You know, really good, really showing all us the experts up here that he's a lot better than we've gave him credit for, and he's stuck in really well, and really chuffed for the guy.
He'd only played, 73 minutes across 3 caps over 6 years for Scotland. What an afternoon for him, and Russell's nudged it into the corner on the far side. Scotland line out, 5 metres out. Can they strike again and close the gap further on the All Blacks? Goes to the front, taken by Cummings. Maul again. The Murrayfield crowds heave as they try and urge Scotland towards the line. The All Blacks solid at the moment. Scotland still have it at the back. Ashman fancies another. Now they use it. Stiff inside for Rory Hutchinson as he spotted a little gap here. He's brought down 4 metres short. Scotland pile in at the ruck. And the quick ball. Caught. Leg drive. Just short again. And now Gregor Brown screaming for it. Russell takes it, flat ball to Kinghorn, gets the pass away, and Kyle Steyn scores for Scotland. 2 in the space of just a couple of minutes, and this game has life again. Scotland 15, New Zealand 17.
Just the tempo they're playing at, great maul, defended well, and then was it Hutchinson that came back? There was nothing on.
Sione just got back.
Step back inside, and all of a sudden there was a big hole. New Zealand didn't defend that particularly well, and then it's just a little bit of good play, and then just got the overlap. They're obviously a player down. There's going to be spaces somewhere, and it wasn't a great pass, but it was good enough to get the
It was
try.
accurate enough. It was accurate enough. Blair got on the outside of the last man and managed to offload it in a long pass to Kyle Steyn in the corner, but that's exactly what we spoke about at half-time. It's a little bit more accuracy, putting him under pressure. The tries will come.
Russell from the exact same spot bends it in once more. Another one for Scotland's maestro to close the gap. And what a game we have. It's all tied up.
And that's just good work at the breakdown. You go all the way back to Ben White, pressurising the scrum half, getting that turnover, getting those kicks. And that's what they need to do. That's what New Zealand have been doing in Scotland. Got to do the same thing. They're human, you know. They're fallible. They can make mistakes, but you've got to make them make mistakes. You know, New Zealand don't make them off their own bat. You've got to force the errors, and that's what Scotland have done in this second half.
Scotland 14, New Zealand 17. Just the Barrett penalty now the difference as Scotland score in 2 bursts. Taking the restart.
Use that, please, 9.
What a game we have on our hands now. That's the performance Scotland would have been looking for in the first half. They're producing it early in the second. Ben White.
Use it, please, 9. White, hold.
Slowly claws it back to the base of the ruck. Puts the box kick downfield. Mackenzie comes. Steyn goes up and has slapped it back to Dempsey, who's over the 10-metre line. Ben White lifts it off the turf. Russell dummies the pass. Hand off. He's taken down by Lakai. And now advantage being played to Scotland. To Pilotu, to Cummings. Cummings takes contact. Scotland between the 10 and the 22 in New Zealand's half. White floats the pass to Brown. Show and go from Scotland's back rower. Scotland motoring up to the 22. Flat ball from Russell to Kinghorn. Steps on the outside. Surges for the touchline. Offloads back inside to Steyn. Steyn is taken to the grass. Scotland still outside the 22. Slow ball. White to Russell. And now it's floated to Sione Tuipulotu. He's got Ewan Ashman on the wing. The hooker. He's going for the line. And he's smashed by 2 New Zealand players. Ball still alive for Scotland. They need to get there quick, and Scott Cummings eventually does. Gilchrist carries to the 5-metre line. White flat for Schoeman. New Zealand repelling Scotland for now. Scotland attacking back towards the post. Gregor Brown just holds on to the ball, driven forwards. Ben White goes digging, he snipes around the edge, he reaches, he can't score, just short. So close from Scotland's scrum half. Snipe round the edge, stopped. Scotland foiled, just a metre short. And in the pass, flung out again, knock on. And New Zealand survive a third Scotland onslaught without conceding. And it is Scotland 14, New Zealand 17. It's breathless stuff.
They're all offside. All the New Zealand guys, they've got their feet behind the try line, but their hands are down in front of the line. That's offside. You know, that's referees are supposed to be hot on that. But Scotland should have scored there. There's absolutely no doubt. But great play again, the intensity, physicality, and they've got them on the back foot, and they've got to execute for them. You've got to execute.
Yeah, those are the moments, but just the difference a half-time break can make, Hugh Jones.
Yeah, look, they did so well there to work upfield, the intensity of the attack, the multi-option, going wide, playing short. Nothing really that flash apart from Blair Kinghorn getting around 2 players. Again, it was just sort of simple hands to the edge and good hard carries, bit of footwork before contact. It's exactly what you asked for. It's exactly what New Zealand showed in the first half, came away with 2 tries. Scotland have done the same at the beginning of this half and are looking a stronger team right now.
New Zealand make a change in the front row. Fletcher Newell comes off and Tasilio Tosi, another massive prop weighing in at 140 kilos, is on.
Imagine feeding these guys for any length of time. Jeez, look at them.
Scotland are ringing the changes as well. Here, Peter, looks like an all-new front row. Coming, Turner, Sutherland and Miller Mills are all on, as is Tom Jordan.
Dobie.
And Jamie Dobie.
Ben White's had a good game.
Yeah,
he like you said before, he sparked that turnover that sent Scotland into attack before, and he was instrumental in that last attacking play and almost got over the line. Yeah,
Jamie Dobie is on for Ben White at scrum half, Schoeman, Ashman and Darcy Ray. What a shift from him.
Yeah, he's done well. You know what? I wouldn't have took Schoeman off. I think Schoeman's playing well, he's scrummaging well still. This thing about they replace all the props at the same time, and if a guy, even Xander Fagerson can play pretty much 80 minutes, I think Schoeman's the same. I think Schoeman can play 80 minutes. And I like Rory as a player. I think Rory's a really good player, but I think Schoeman's playing well. You know, the front row's actually done really well.
So big scrum here, New Zealand on their own 5 metre line, leading Scotland by 17 points to 14, just 3 in it, after a 17-point lead at half-time for New Zealand, and it's a sliced clearance as well from Damien McKenzie into touch, and Scotland will have a line out just at the edge of inside the 22. Another really big opportunity here for Scotland.
Yeah, and both teams set piece have actually played pretty well, and that's if you're ever going to win a game, you've got to have a set piece that can stand up to it. And Scotland's, I think we doubted, some of us doubted how they would go. Line-out's been good, scrummage has been good, but there's still 25 minutes to go.
Scotland line out, Turner, and it goes astray, and Cody Taylor picks up for New Zealand at the back, and that is a disappointment because the line out had been going well. Scotland have pinched it back at the ruck, and now Gregor Brown wrapped up by Bowden Barrett. And Scotland just outside the 22, Fagerson, and Scotland passing it in traffic, but they've done brilliantly to keep a hold of it. And Hutchison to Kinghorn into the 22, he's tackled, offload away, Darcy Graham for the corner, he's stopped, wriggles out one, stretches, and has he scored? Has he got the ball down? He's dropped it. He's dropped it. He lunged for the line under pressure. I thought he'd been taken down once, twice. Managed to get in position to put a finish away, but couldn't quite ground the ball under pressure.
Yeah, I definitely dropped it, but what a great bit of play, wasn't it? Just, again, Kinghorn getting on that outside. Gives the replay here. Great defence, isn't it? It's great defence.
Yeah, he did so well to get there in the first place, but he's just stretched too far and dropped the ball over the line.
Right, it's got good scrum halves do, they just cover the pitch, don't they?
Like you say, just off the line out, it went over the top, but getting the turnover straight away, one phase and moving the ball wide, the New Zealand defence wasn't set. You give Blair Kinghorn a chance on the outside, offload to Darcy Graham.
And I think players often think they've got Blair Kinghorn, but he's got such a big stride and he's such a quick guy that he's kind of on the outside of them before they know it.
Restart under the sticks from New Zealand after that spill from Darcy Graham. Brilliant cover tackle from Cam Roygard to prevent Scotland taking the lead in this game for the first time. They trail by 3 points after nearly 57 minutes, but Scotland's penalised at the ruck, and New Zealand get the penalty and the chance to exit their own half for the first time in a long time. And they've made a change at hooker as well, incidentally. Samisoni Takiaho is on for Cody Taylor.
Yeah, you could argue that front row they've brought on is actually better than the front row that started. They're bigger, stronger, and they're all good rugby players. They all carry well, they all know the game, they all understand it, and this is where Scotland, if they're going to succeed, they've got to have those guys coming off the bench, making sure that they can close out games, and what a great opportunity here to do that.
New Zealand line out, intercepted by Jack Dempsey. He's charging over halfway. Jack Dempsey being pursued by 3 All Blacks. He's brought down inside the 22. Scotland trying to compete for the ball to keep a hold of it. They've done so brilliantly with Miller Mills. And then it's Russell now, puts the kick in, and it's taken this time by Darcy Graham in the 22. He's wrapped up and bundled to the deck. Scotland will have to reset here. Dobie, inside pass to Cummings crashes over the 22. Dobie, this time to Sutherland, pop past to Miller-Mills, out the back again, brilliant hands from Scotland, but then it's just clung to Suoni Tuipulotu now, going down this near side. Had no room to work with. Dobie, flat ball. Dobie again picks up, and in a little gap for him to go round, but cover challenge from Lakai. Fagerson plays scrum half, and he's forced the pass, and it's knocked on, and now advantage being played to New Zealand, and there's a big break on here, and it is the big prop, Tosi, and now there's numbers out wide, and they've kicked it, and Kinghorn's going to get back here, and the referee is blown for offside. Scotland penalty.
If New Zealand had just put it through their hands, they'd have got a 4-man overlap. They would have been away, putting the kick in the place in front of the kick. What a game, eh? What a great 18-19 minutes in a second half.
It's been breathless, absolutely breathless. And this is the narrative around New Zealand is that they do sometimes go to sleep in games, and this is a chance for Finn Russell to level the scores as it's in front of the post, about 30 metres out.
I think, to be fair, Thomas, that they maybe went to sleep, but a lot of that's down to Scotland putting them to sleep. You know, Scotland have been absolutely outstanding this second half. Accuracies, yeah, they've made a few errors, and that's where New Zealand, you've thought, hang on a minute, New Zealand need to calm this game down, and they're not. They're getting involved in this frantic game as well, and they're making the big errors. It's whether we can keep this going for another 20 minutes.
Murrayfield falls silent as Finn Russell strides towards the ball, strokes it with the right foot. The flags are up again, and it is all square at Murrayfield. 17 unanswered Scottish points in this second half. Scotland 17, New Zealand 17. It's bonkers stuff.
Yeah, and again, it's no more than Scotland deserve, to be fair. They've been really outstanding this second half. Is that Fagerson coming off?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, I thought they'd have took Dempsey just because he's not put a lot of game time, but Fagerson's been quiet.
Dempsey takes the restart and then spots a bit of space. That's knocked on, and it's a deliberate knock on and penalty for Scotland. Dempsey tried to get the pass away to Dobie.
Stein was in. He'd have run the whole length of the pitch and scored.
And now they've been marched back as well, New Zealand.
I think he's asking them to go back so they can look at the screen, because they're obviously going to. Because it's a break, isn't it? I think if it's going to be a break,
it's a definite line break.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kyle Stein was away. Whether he'd had the gas to go all the way, I wouldn't have thought, but he would have certainly got a fair distance down that pitch. It's just instinct to do that with your hand.
He stuck his arm out. I don't think he has a chance at catching that. It's going to be a line break. I think that has to be a yellow card.
We're just checking.
So what we're looking at is
shame it wasn't severe.
Yeah,
he'd have been off with a red.
So Wallace Atiti goes and gets a big right hand on Dempsey's ball to Stein, and his hand is certainly not shaping to catch that.
He's the last defender. Kyle Stein, he's not going to go the whole way, but it's a line. But I think that's what the law is, isn't it? Nick. If it's allowed, if it denies a line break.
So he's potentially just keep rolling the replays, Marius.
So Nick Berry in conversation
I've got that as a potential line break opportunity. Do you agree? I've got that as a potential line break opportunity.
Yeah.
So you guys are both on yellow card?
Yep.
Okay, Marius, we're going to go yellow card.
Yeah, it looks it's going that way.
Just give us time, Reece. Just give us time, Nick.
Thanks, mate. I got a decision, put it up.
So,
and the number?
New Zealand are going to get a third yellow card here.
30 minutes with 14 players. Scotland have got no excuse. You would argue they've no excuse not to win this game.
You have to make this count now.
Okay, Marius, so that's a deliberate knock forward. It prevents a line break opportunity, so it's going to be a yellow card.
There you go. Clear from Nick Berry, and Murrayfield roars as Wallace Atiti takes his place on the New Zealand bench for now. Scotland, well, ever since the 32nd minute, Scotland have largely been up against 14 players. And what an opportunity now on the hour mark. Scotland have the line out just short of halfway. They've battled from 17-0 down to level this game at 17-all. George Turner shuffling about, and Gilchrist collects at the back. Dobie gives it now, and Scotland on halfway.
Okay, that's taken back into your 50, okay?
Dobie
taken back.
Rolls it back with his studs and goes to the skies with a kick. Bowden Barrett's underneath it, but so is Stein, who gets a touch on it, and it's given us a knock-on. So New Zealand have the advantage here.
It's a knock-on advantage, guys, just a knock-on.
They set up, Barrett playing scrum half just outside his own 22. Pass inside to Sam Darry, the replacement second row.
Use that, please, 9.
Scotland fill the field, and they're going to use their advantage to clear their lines here as Roygaard hoists it up and off the pitch. It will be a Scotland line out just around about the 10-metre line in New Zealand territory.
Yeah, and it's 17-all, and we've also been over the line twice where we couldn't get it down, so you would kind of argue that New Zealand are a bit on the lucky side. But you know what New Zealand are like? You've got to put them to the sword now. You've got to try and get another try, maybe another couple of scores just before that sin bins up.
Final quarter, huge moments in this test match. Sione Tuipulotu almost stumbles as he reached the defensive line, but managed to keep his feet. Cummings out to Russell, big high pass for Gregor Brown, good hands from the back rower. Finds space in the pitch from the touchline. Tackled. Dobie away now to Sutherland, and Dobie to Cummings. Relentless, the Scotland second row. Dobie, that was an awkward one for Scotland to keep a hold of, but they've managed to do it. Coming back to this short side now, just making the New Zealand defence work. The 14 players of New Zealand, Satiti in the bin, the score tied up, and Dobie sends the box kick. Is it going to be in the 22? It drops in, slapped forward. It's bouncing about horribly for New Zealand. Jordan manages to dive on it. Now Damien McKenzie showing goal, but he's wrapped up and taken to the deck. So advantage for New Zealand and the knock-on from that kick. Scotland told to retreat, and the referee has eventually just come back for this scrum for New Zealand in their own 22.
Smart by Cam Roygaard not to play the ball from that ruck. They had the knock-on advantage. All he was really going to do was kick the ball out and give Scotland another opportunity to attack. So they get a scrum in their 22 and a chance to exit with a little bit more control.
So I never understand sometimes when you get scrum advantages, actually ask for the scrum, because sometimes it's a benefit to have the scrum. Sometimes you maybe play it too much, you lose that little bit of an advantage and put yourself under a bit of pressure.
Marshall Sykes is on for Grant Gilchrist in the second row for Scotland as the bench is empty in the closing stages at Murrayfield. Darkness has fallen, the floodlights are on. The Murrayfield crowd is completely gripped and absorbed by this sensational test match. Scotland looked down and out at half-time, put to the swords in flashes by New Zealand. 17-0 down, they've hit back through Ashman and Stein. And what a conclusion we have here as they search for their first ever win in 120 years of playing the All Blacks. Scrum is solid from the All Blacks, picked up at the back by Lakai and driven forwards.
He's trying,
they set up the ruck,
20, out of it.
Desperately trying to exit their 22, New Zealand. Roygaard with the pass, one out. Scotland just need to give away nothing here.
Let that go on the ground.
As they set up the ruck, Savia involved there as Roygaard box kicks and curls it off the Murrayfield pitch. And Scotland make another change.
You know what's going to happen? It's going to end up a draw. We'll end up a third draw. Nah, hopefully not. Hopefully Scotland have got enough just to keep the game calm at the right times and just show the composure. And I think they have got the composure to do it.
Jack Dempsey's had a great game. See him come off there for Josh Bayliss. I think especially in the last 10 minutes he had the interception off the line out, a couple of big carries. I think he's been brilliant today.
Yeah, he's had a horrible year or so with injuries, Jack Dempsey, but when he's fully fit and firing, what a player he is. And also a change for New Zealand as well. Billy Proctor, who's usually an outside centre, he's just replaced Leroy Carter. He's on, and it's off the top of the lineup from Scotland just to Dobie. Now they get moving to Piloto for Stein. Now Kinghorn dancing, as is his want, and manages to keep hold of the ball. Brown pops it out the back. There wasn't really anyone there though on the back foot, and was that a high shot there onto the Scotland player. maybe just a flailing arm. Didn't know he was there, but Dobby waits, and it's with Miller-Mills. Scotland inch over halfway. Nerves all around Murrayfield. History on the line for this Scotland team as Dobby. Box kicks, Barrett couldn't gather. It's knocked forwards by Scotland though. New Zealand will get the scrum.
I think New Zealand knocked that back. It's interesting, George Turner, did he dummy that line out? I think he probably did, but he got away with it. But I don't think the TMO can't come in for that. That's one of the few things that they can't come in for. After watching Bath against Bristol a couple of weeks ago, I've seen that. But his box kicking is unbelievable, isn't it? He gets such a good bit of height on it, and it just that right distance as well. It just, it makes it Dobby wonderful. Got great scrum halves, haven't we? You know, you've got George Horn, you've got Dobby, you've got White, brilliant scrum halves.
Well, Pierre Schoeman is back on. Peter, you got your wish. Must have been an injury replacement for Rory Sutherland, so he's back off.
HIA, I think.
Yeah, so he's back on.
Stay straight, don't step around.
Big Edinburgh loose head. So he got a wee rest there, and on for the final 13 minutes. It is Scotland 17, New Zealand 17, live on Sportsound Rugby, BBC Radio Scotland, and Sports Extra 3. Scotland have come roaring back in the second half from 17 points down to level it. New Zealand's scrum, and they drive forwards out of their 22 area and up to the 10. Tapia was involved there, and
that's fine.
It's with Roy Guards. Scotland just need to keep their discipline, keep their shape, keep the All Blacks down this end of the field. All Blacks have had barely any territory in the second half as Barrett puts a little floaty kick over in behind, looking for a run on the far side, but goes out.
It's a kind of weird kick. He's still inside in the half.
Not now.
I think he maybe go for the 50-20. He's got a massive boot.
I think he was looking for the crossfield, but it was kind of covered. You had Darcy in the backfield who was almost in no man's land, but covering the 50-22 and the short kick at the same time, and he's just stabbed that one into touch when nothing was really on.
Line out to Scotland. Siafai Ganuku was lurking out there looking for the crossfield kick, but never caught hold of it. Beauden Barrett. It's had a quiet game. The New Zealand 10. Such a esteemed player, but it's lost by Scotland, and the All Blacks have it. And this is where they can be dangerous. Turnover ball. Tackle made just over halfway as they drive into Scotland's half. Barrett for Fainga'anuku. Good hit in there from Tuipulotu among others. Infield for the second row. Darry lays it back. Roy Guards away to Barrett. Barrett to De Groot and then into Tapia. Jordan. A floaty pass which then bounces off the turf and into the arms of Mackenzie, but had no room to make anything of it. A little show and go. Scotland's defence holds firm, and now they're looking for something from the referee there. On we go. New Zealand short of halfway. Barrett out to Damien McKenzie, spots space in the backfield, and he's put it into the 22. Oh, what a kick. What a kick that is. It's a 50-22 for New Zealand, and that is just sheer quality from Damien McKenzie. And immediately they're up 5 metres from Scotland's line with a line out to come.
It's brilliant identification of space. I was watching Kyle Steyn here on the wing, and he was drifting forward, he was going back, he was drifting forward, and just as he comes forward to join the front line, Damien McKenzie sees the space in behind and he kicks it in, and it's a perfect kick, really.
Could not have placed it better. The replacement fullback, and that's the quality New Zealand are bringing off their bench. Damien McKenzie, really brilliant player to watch. And now Taukei'aho throws it in, and here comes the New Zealand maul. Scotland haven't had to do much defending in the second half. They're going to have to put their bodies on the line here as the maul creeps towards the line, towards this near corner. Roygaard wants it. Roygaard gets it away to Tapia. Stopped short. Advantage to New Zealand. Still advantage being played as they try and find their way through the Scotland wall. Savia, quick hands, flat to the line. Scotland's doing just enough at the moment. Oh, Tamaite Williams, a massive prop, gets a latch on and drives for the posts. Again, Scotland hold firm. It's out to Mackenzie. Little step, can't evade the tackle though of Darcy Graham. Coming back for the penalty to New Zealand.
Yellow card. There's been a couple of times we've given penalties away. I don't know whether that warning he gave us in the first half was only for that particular phase he played.
You'd hope it'd been a clean slate for the second half.
I never think you could do that. I always thought that it stayed no matter how long it took you to give that next penalty. But we're fortunate.
I think if there's another one in the area, then he starts maybe to look at it.
So New Zealand back up to 15 players. Wallace Atiti has not come back on, but replacement back rower Duplessis Kirifi on for his 7th cap.
Good New Zealand name, that. Duplessis.
Oh, is that? He's named after. Yeah, he's named after Mornay Duplessis because apparently his dad played against him on a tour match back in the day, and so he liked the name and he's named him.
Maybe his middle name you could have called him that. No, his first name, surely.
He's gone for it. Must have really liked
what would he be called? Just Duplessis? Just call him that. Or Dewey.
Obviously a big fan of Mornay. As New Zealand stab it into the corner, 5 metres out. Line out to come. Scotland 17, New Zealand 17. 8 minutes left at Murrayfield. And there's a familiar sense of foreboding creeping around the stands here in the west end of Edinburgh, because Scotland have had all the game in the second half, but 50-22 from Davy McKenzie.
Who do you take off for Tom Jordan? Who's going to come off? Because they're all playing well, the backs.
It's a tricky one. Do you take off Finn? Is that the natural replacement? Is there someone in the back line who's struggling with something?
Maul is surging towards the line. Scotland struggling to contain the momentum here. It's Arde Savia with the ball. Everyone's piled in. They're stopped short. Scotland have just done enough here. The defence creaking, but still holding. Now another penalty advantage to New Zealand. Roygaard assesses his options, the scrum half. Flat ball for Tupaia. Now Beauden Barrett wrapped up by Darcy Graham, and he throws the pass, skips off the turf into the arms, and the offload away to Mackenzie. Can he get to the corner? Big handoff. Vanny's into touch, I think. Has he got that down? The referee has given it. It's given on the field. What a finish that is. If he's got that ball down, it'll be checked. But New Zealand at the moment have made Scotland pay. Scotland 17, New Zealand 22.
It looked as though Blair was forcing him into touch, but he's just spun out of the tackle somehow and managed to get the ball over the line.
Got the replay here. Oh, he had him, he let him go. And then what? How good is this? Oh, he's had. Oh, good try. Good try. I mean, how he's managed to score that is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
a good try. Yeah, absolutely brilliant try.
It's almost as if the two Scotland players had all the momentum, and they couldn't stop themselves.
Should never have scored that, should he?
And Mackenzie, well, I thought when he was running towards the corner, the space was against him.
Kinghorn had him, I think the fact that Mackenzie's so small, I think Kinghorn's went over the top of him, I think. But you know what, it is what it is. But Scotland just got to believe in themselves, play like they've played for the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes of this half. Tom Jordan's on, so he could come. I think he's on for Finn, is he? Yeah, I think it's Finn walking, limping down there.
It's not good news for next week against Argentina as well. Finn Russell going off, Tom Jordan is on. The conversion was missed by Mackenzie. Sclaffed his effort from the touchline, so it is Scotland 17, New Zealand 22, and we're into the final 5 minutes at Murrayfield. But Scotland have pinched it from the kick-off, and the roar of the Murrayfield crowds helps Scotland on their way as Sykes spins it now to Tom Jordan. Good footwork from the Bristol Bear. Tackled between the 10 and 22. Schoeman takes over his head and then out the back to Kinghorn. Floater to Stein on the touchline. Keeps it infield and crucially in touch. Dobie goes digging, gives it to Schoeman. Schoeman head down. Tackled. Now it's Miller Mills. He was juggling with that, and then he was melted. The big prop, but he's kept hold of it. Kinghorn now. Jordan to Darcy Graham. Tries to go inside then out. Holds off the tackle. Scotland setting up in the 5 metre channel on the far side. Laid back now. Scotland trailing by 5 points with minutes remaining. Sykes spins and was looking to try and get it away, but there was no one there, and then a counter ruck from the All Blacks. Scotland cling on to it. Scott Cummings. It's slow ball, and the penalty for New Zealand. They get in at the breakdown. Nick Berry's left arm goes into the air, and that is a huge moment with 4 minutes left of this Test match.
I would argue he's never been released in the tackle. I don't think the New Zealand player releases him. Whanganui, he's got his hands on him in the tackle, and I don't think he lets go and then goes back on. That's what the law says. You've got to let go the player and then go back in on the ball. And I'm not sure he did that.
Damien McKenzie sends it into touch on the far side. The little man has changed this game in the second half. That 50-22, and then his superb finish has got New Zealand out a bit of a hole. 3 minutes to go, and they have a line out just over halfway with a 5-point lead. And Flower Scotland goes around Murrayfield to try and G up the Scotland players for one final push. There'll be an awful lot of regrets if this is how it finishes, but there is still time. 5-point game. Finn Russell, just a shot of him on the bench now. Looks in a bit of discomfort, but hopefully nothing too serious. And it's gathered by Fabian Holland, the line out for New Zealand, and they're going to maul this one on halfway. Inching slowly forward, that power starting to tell now as Scotland splinter. They have a bite back though, the Scotland forwards. Advantage being played. Advantage to the All Blacks. And a sense of inevitability now about New Zealand closing out this game as they have the penalty just short of the 10-metre line. And Scotland need a bit of magic. They need something out of nothing now to try and salvage this game. Rory Sutherland is back on once more.
Talk about composure. You probably get the sense here that the All Blacks are going to squeeze the life out of this game. Pretty happy to keep the ball in that maul.
Going for a goal.
Inching forward. They're going to go for goal and waste a bit of time.
Yeah, interesting. You missed that Scotland counter-attack. You get it. You get that. Your 2 points. Yeah, two scores ahead, aren't you? That's why they're going for it here.
Yeah, if you get this, you win the game probably. But if you don't, you just never know.
We'll see the shot clock trickle down to 0 as he hits this.
78 on the clock. Damien McKenzie covered in blood with a bandage round his head. He's been the game changer for the All Blacks in the second half, and he's lining up the penalty between the 10-metre and halfway on the 15-metre line, more or less. Huge kick. Steps up, strikes the ball. It looks good. It is good. What a magnificent kick that is from Damien McKenzie. And New Zealand are now 8 points in front. They lead Scotland by 25 points to 17 with a minute and a half left, and that is surely the game.
Yeah, it's going to take a miracle to come back to get 2 scores from that. You actually want to try and maybe force the penalty to start with, and then take the penalty, and then from the kick-off try and counter-attack. But New Zealand are just going to tuck it up the jumper and just kill the game off with a minute to go.
Here they come, taking it down the short side, and the big men are just queuing up to protect this ball and take it in, carry after carry. And they have had considerable power and strength to bring off their bench. And the skill of Damien McKenzie has reversed the momentum in this game. Cummings trying to disrupt things for Scotland as Murrayfield just falls flat, and we're in the final 30 seconds. Scotland were tantalisingly close to a first ever win over the All Blacks. It's not going to happen now. Penalty to New Zealand. Scotland offside, and we are into the final 15 seconds for all the heroics of the second half. From minute 40 to about minute 65, this is going to end in another Scotland heartbreak against the mighty All Blacks.
Okay, time is up. You got to tap.
They have stuck to the script. He's tapped it. Cam Roygaard sends it into touch, and New Zealand beat Scotland for the 31st time out of 33. Their 120-year unbeaten streak continues. Scotland gave it everything in the second half and came back from 17-0 down thanks to tries from Ashman and Stein. And the big thing is there were opportunities left out there. And New Zealand, through the brilliance of Damien McKenzie, managed to regather the momentum. His 50-22 and then magnificent finish in the corner got them back in front, and then he boomed over a penalty from miles out to wrap things up. He is their match winner, and Scotland will have so many regrets, most of them probably coming in that first half where they let New Zealand run out to a 17-point lead. Plenty to ponder for the Scotland squad. New Zealand march on to Twickenham next week, 2 from 2, and they have preserved their 120-year streak against Scotland. Full time at Murrayfield, it finished Scotland 17, New Zealand 25.
Rugby from Sportsound.
Successfully scored the opening try
on BBC Radio Scotland.